This is an incredible story. It's also very disturbing. On New Year's Eve 2012, an American photographer named Matthew Schrier was kidnapped by an al-Qaeda-affiliated terror group in Syria while he was documenting the nation's civil war. He was able to escape and now says the FBI mishandled his case, even using him as bait. He describes it all in a new book called Dawn Prayer. Matt Schrier joins us now. Matt, good to see you again. Briefly explain, a lot of people don't understand why anybody would want to go into a war zone like Syria when you have these crazy terrorist groups chopping off people's heads. Why'd you go in there?
Well, at the time, this was before everyone's heads were getting chopped off. The only journalist missing was Austin Tice, and he was captured outside of Damascus. Actually, there were 3 missing, but the FBI was encouraging all the families to keep quiet, which gave off the impression that as long as you stayed in the north and with the FSA, the Free Syrian Army, you wouldn't exactly be safe, but you'd be in good hands, which wasn't exactly the truth.
And now you were leaving the country. You were going to go through Turkey, which borders Syria, and that's when they captured you, right?
Right. I was there for 18 days, didn't have a scratch on me, and when I was 45 minutes from the Turkish border, they grabbed me.
Unbelievable.
So it took me 7 months to get 45 minutes.
This was not, just so people know, this was right before ISIS became the #1 terror group in Syria, which fortunately they are no longer the #1 terrorist group. But this was at the time, it was called al-Nusra. They were the most brutal terror group, and they treated you pretty badly for months, right?
Correct. At first, they treated me really well for the first month and 5 days because the guy who ran the prison liked me because he thought I was funny. But then he caught me trying to escape and got a little upset, and things went downhill pretty quickly.
Now, they tortured you, and out of you, they got all of your passwords and all sorts of credit card information with which they were able to buy a lot of things, particularly computers. The FBI apparently found out about this, and they were interested in kind of using you as bait because they then could track through their computers what it was they were doing. So even though the FBI was telling your family that they were trying to get you out, they were kind of using you, weren't they?
Yes, they were actually telling my family I was the one making all the purchases. This is all documented in emails, that I was the one using my bank account, that I was the one using my cell phone. I mean, there's a mountain of evidence that I want to turn over to the Department of Justice. On March 19th, I believe it was, the day that my folder fell on Agent Lindsay Perotti's desk, somebody went into my PayPal account and changed the password so that all purchase receipts would be siphoned off to a new email address. This email address was set up within the United States by somebody using a VPN, virtual private network. That's the FBI. And this is weeks before they contacted my family.
Now,
so they were investigating me.
The FBI has put out a statement. I'm looking on my computer here because we've got it up. We can put it up on the screen. The FBI's investigation into the kidnapping of Matt Schrier remains open. Therefore, we're not able to discuss investigative details surrounding the case. The FBI fully supports the work of the agents and victim specialists who have remained consummate professionals in working with Mr. Schrier. Since his return home, we have worked with our partners in the U.S. government to provide him with a full range of services and guidance to help him rebuild his life, as we do for all victims. However, it is at the discretion of the victim to accept and implement these resources. Now, they don't directly approach what your main premise, which is that you were being used as bait. But what do you think of that statement?
I think it's a bunch of baloney. I mean, they failed to mention that they have had 2 of the suspects or terrorists in custody for 4 years who extorted me for my financial information. And when they say it's at my discretion, yes, it's at my discretion not to go to a doctor that refuses to prescribe FDA-approved drugs. It's at my discretion to not keep making appointments with a shrink that they gave me who canceled 5 appointments my first 2 months home. It's at my discretion to get frustrated with an FBI agent who keeps asking me, do you need anything? And when I say, yes, I need a new Social Security number, Al-Qaeda has it, she says I can't help you when she can pick up the phone and call the Witness Protection Program. I mean, the list goes on. I can talk for a full hour on things like this.
But, Matt, so the bottom line is that the main charge that you make in your book is that the FBI is set up to protect American citizens, and they weren't interested in protecting you. They were more interested in using you as bait for this terrorist group. Quick 10-second final. Go ahead.
Correct. That is it. I have the evidence to prove it. I've been on the highest-rated network saying I want to turn it over to the Department of Justice. Now it's at their discretion to take it.
Matt Schrier, the book is The Dawn Prayer. Matt, we wish you the very best. Please stay in touch.
Thank you very much.